Hello, how are we all doing? How is your 2025 going so far? It is April and today I'm going to be talking to you about the best books that I have read this year so far. I think I have 6 to talk to you about. I have 4 physical ones in front of me and then I think there's 2 digital ones. We'll get into it in a little bit. I have had a really good start to this year so far. I entered this year literally as midnight struck into 2025 in hysterical laughter, and I pretty much haven't stopped since, and I've just been having such a good time. And I have so many things booked for the latter part of the year as well. I'm very excited. I'm having a great time. I've been reading so many good books. When I sat down to look at all of the books I've read this year to pick out the ones to include in this video, I was going to include, well, I have included ones that I rated 4.5 and 5 stars, but most of the books that I have read so far in 2025 have either been 4 stars or above, which is a great feeling because I feel like I'm really honing in on my reading tastes and picking out ones that I just know I'm going to really enjoy and have been really enjoying. So that feels good. I just feel good. I feel good. I've been on loads of different trips this year already. I have more trips to come. It's such a good year so far. So I'm having a great time. I hope you guys are also all having a fantastic year. The point of this video is to recap some of the best books that I have been reading so far this year. We will dive into that in a second after a word from the sponsor of today's video. Today's video is sponsored by LingoDa, an online language learning platform. I have not only read some great books this year, but I have also travelled to some amazing countries already, and I'm going to be travelling to some more, and then hopefully some more next year, and the year after that. One of the things that is becoming increasingly apparent to me the more I travel is how limited my language skills are. Obviously, I'm fluent in English. I can speak a passable amount of French, but that's it. I want to get better at languages, and one of the ways I want to do that is through LingoDa by taking their beginners Spanish classes. I want to improve my language skills, and this is a great way to do it because LingoDa takes a practical approach to learning languages. LingoDa offers pretty small classes with no more than 5 students per class, so it never feels overwhelming, and what I really like as well is that you get real speaking practice in every class. They also offer LingoDa sprints, which are designed to help you build a daily learning habit and boost your confidence in 60 days. This helps to keep you motivated and structure a schedule for your learning to improve your skills and confidence in 2 months. LingoDa also offers a really cool incentive to learn because if you attend all your classes and stay consistent, you get 50% cashback or free classes, which is fantastic. That's a great motivator in my opinion. When it comes to LingoDa sprints, you can either sprint, which is 30 classes in 60 days, or super sprint, which is 60 classes in 60 days. I find it really motivational that you're held accountable by an actual person with LingoDa. I like the fact that these lessons are video calls. They're 24/7 availability, so you can book in for a time and day that suits you, and it's also native level speakers that are teaching you, so you really are getting a really good education in learning this new language. And I really like the fact that there's a focus on speaking the language as well, because that's what I want to learn the most. When I'm in another country, I want to be able to speak it and interact with the people in that country. Reach your language learning goals with the LingoDa Sprint Challenge. You can use the link in my description to get yourself 20% off your sign-up fee and an additional €20 off with my code BooksNest20. Thank you so much LingoDa for sponsoring this video. Okay, let's dive into the books. The first book that I'm going to be talking about is the first 5-star read of the year that I had, which is The Dark Mirror by Samantha Shannon. Also, I think that this series might have some of my favourite book covers on my shelves. They're so pretty. There's sprayed edges. This is the Forbidden Planet special edition, and I think it's beautiful. Anyway, is this book 5? I think it's book 5 in the bonus season. Okay, I need to give some context for this. My best friend Lauren, who is Scottish, came to stay with me last week. She was just leaving last week. I was driving her to the airport and I was bringing my book with me. Just, you've always got to have a book with you. And I just opened it up where the bookmark was and this was in it, which made Lauren laugh quite a bit because she'd hidden it there, and then I immediately found it and she was like, oh, it might not be the only one. So this is hidden in here, which I know is Lauren's favourite series and she absolutely loved this book, so that's really funny that I filmed that happen. I had no idea that was in there. I'm going to leave it in there, but anyway. I think this is book 5 in the Bone Season series. That was the point of me opening the book up. Yes, book 5. Okay. This whole book series is centred around this pretty bleak world in which clairvoyance is a thing, and we're following our main character who is clairvoyant, and there's different levels or types of clairvoyance that you can be, and we're following her throughout the whole of this series as she is trying to help overthrow the powers that be and try and kind of right a lot of wrongs. And I'm very vaguely glossing over it because I don't want to accidentally give spoilers. There's a big evil reigning force that is trying to be dismantled by the characters that we're following. That's what this series is about. This is obviously book 5, so I won't go into the details of this one, but this book was so good. I'm gonna be honest, it took me 3 times to read the first book in this series. Knowing that it was Lauren, my best friend's favourite series of all time, I really wanted to like it, so I pushed through and kept trying to read the first book, and I finally finished it, and then I think I immediately read book 2 and 3 at that point and was waiting for book 4 to come out, and I was still like not 100% on the series. And even when this one came out, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to continue this series. I don't know if this is a series DNF for me. I don't know, because I don't feel excited about it. But I had the arc for this one, which I was excited about. I was excited about getting the arc, and I was like, no, I do want to read this. Like, I feel like I've lost a bit of the momentum with it. So I picked it up and I bloody loved it. I bloody loved it. It was so good. There's an element of travel in this, which I really enjoyed. You get to see quite a few different countries. You get to see so many big epic moments. There's battles and interesting uses of the clairvoyant magic system, and there's a little bit of romance going through it as well, and just oh yes, it's so good. It's so good. This gave me everything I wanted it to be and has completely hooked me into this series. It was so clear visually in my head and so interesting, and you just didn't really know who to trust, and I love it when books do that, when they throw you in all these different directions and you feel very confused about where your allegiances as a reader lie beyond like the main few characters that we know so well. But it had so much heart to it as well, and so many big like shouting moments where I was like, no, or yes, and I love it when books make you feel like that and make you have that kind of visceral reaction to the book. And it was just, so good, so good. So this was my first 5-star read of the year. This was, when I finished it, I was like, okay, I just want to read everything like this. It was perfect. It had everything that I wanted it to have. If you have not read this series yet, it is so worth it. Like, the rest of the series is really good, but this is just spectacular. Loved it. Perfect. 5th book in the series. 5 stars. Brilliant. No notes. My next 5-star read was actually another recommendation from Lauren, and it was an audiobook that I listened to, which was Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This is following our main character, and it's going between multiple different time periods of their life. There's basically a huge threat to Earth, and our main character is part of the mission to try and stop this threat happening. And I'm not going to go into any more details beyond that specific part of the plot, but this book really, I mean, I was going to say it really surprised me, but actually seeing how much other people had loved it, it didn't so much surprise me, but it's more like it's a genre I don't really read very much of. Like, space-based sci-fi is probably my least favourite thing to pick up. Well, actually, I'm not going to say that anymore. It isn't anymore, because this was just absolutely fantastic. This is my first Andy Weir book. I have watched the film for The Martian, haven't read the book, would now like to read the book. And I know that Lauren also really enjoyed the book for The Martian as well. It's so brilliantly done because it's so clever. It's so clever. Like, all the science talk is intense and there's a lot of it, and I'm like, what? But at the same time, like, as much as I don't know what they're talking about half the time, I don't feel left behind as a reader. I just feel like I'm observing these amazing brains at work, and I really like the way that Andy Weir writes that. Like, you know it's incredibly intelligent, but even though I have no idea about any of the things they were talking about, I was still able to follow along without it feeling like it was dumbed down for me as a reader to enjoy and experience, and I didn't feel lost with it. You know, it sold it in a really clever way, and the narrative pulled you along with it, that you felt like you were there with these characters, and I think that was brilliant. But also the humour in it is hilarious. I really love the narration, and the way the audiobook narrator brought that humour to life through their voice for this book was brilliant. There's also an introduction of a character that is a really interesting and fun and amazing and adorable character, and their voice in the book as an audiobook was really different, and I really enjoyed that. If you've read it, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. Amaze. It was just, yeah, it was so good. It makes me happy thinking about it. It's such a perilous situation in the book that the world could end, and it's, you know, a lot of pressure in the book to know what's going to happen, and I didn't know what the outcome would be, and even towards the last hour of listening to it, I was still like, I don't know where this is going. Like, I genuinely don't know if everything's going to be okay or not, and it was just fantastic. It was fantastic. An easy 5-star read. Loved it so much, and it's a great example of when you read outside of your normal reading genre or your reading comfort zone, you can discover some really great things, because it was just fantastic. My next 5-star read is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, which is it still not out yet, is it? June 2025. Pre-ordered this book. It's so good. Thank you so much to Tor for sending me an advance copy of this. This is a lesbian vampire book that spans 3 different characters' lives across different time periods. And it's so brilliant. I actually, upon starting this, I'd kind of forgotten it was lesbian vampires, and I just kind of went into it not really knowing very much, because the blurb is vague. The blurb is a very pretty kind of blurb, and it doesn't really tell you what it's about. So I'd kind of forgotten, and then when I started reading it, I started to remember this. Oh man, it was done so well. It was such a kick to the patriarchy and power to the women, and it made me feel a real sense of camaraderie with what was happening, but at the same time, like, there was some really dark shit happening as well, so like not so much camaraderie with that kind of side of it, but it just had so many moments in it where I was like, yes, and like it just felt really empowering a lot of times with different things that were happening. It also kind of reflected the isolation and loneliness and fear of some of the characters as well, and I think it did a really good job of doing that. It balanced so many different emotions, and I think that that's what V. Schwab does spectacularly well as well, is balancing these array of emotions and merging in like the fear and sadness with the moments of joy and humour and love. And this book reflected that so well, because we see three very different characters from each other, three different time periods, and we're going like throughout time as well. So we really get to see a mix of not only those characters changing over time, but also society changing over time, and the society that shapes these characters and that they see around them as well, which again was another thing I think was just done fantastically about this book. It was so good, so compelling. I never really knew where it was going as well. This is another one where I just was constantly guessing as to what was going to happen. I think it's interesting when you get a book that is told through multiple different time periods, you often in the more modern time periods could kind of see flickers of where the stories in the past might end up, and that definitely happened with this one, but it still kept me guessing, and I still felt very intrigued as to how we were going to get to the point that we were in like the modern day of this book. So I had a great time with this. Another easy 5 stars. I can't wait for this to come out for everyone else to be able to read it because it's so good. Next is the Dungeon Crawler Carl series by Matt Dinnerman. I have read book 1 and 2 in this series so far, and I am obsessed. Is it called Lit RPG? I think the genre of this is. It's set in a world where everybody that was under any form of surface on Earth was squashed. So if you were like under a roof, if you're in a car, everything just gets squashed, and if you weren't under a surface, you survive, and you get given this option to go down these stairs to this dungeon where you enter into a kind of a fight to the death. Like, you basically have to go through different layers and just stay alive, and there's loads of threats, and you can level up, you can get perks and boxes and like loot and stuff. It's so fun. If you like any kind of RPG game, this book is just perfect for you. I just absolutely loved it. I loved the fact that the characters were able to level up and have like certain skills like charisma skills and strength and intelligence and things. It just was so fun in that aspect, and seeing them level up. But also the main character Carl and Princess Donut, who is a cat. Would you get cat main character? Both of them are fantastic to read about. Carl is so funny, and then like Donut is also really funny, and like their humour bounces off of each other quite well. Their characters interact with each other in such a fun way. It's just brilliant. Carl makes me laugh so much. The dry wit and sarcasm is my favourite type of humour in books, I think. I have been enjoying this series so much. I know a lot of people have said to try the audiobook out. Apparently that's fantastic. I've actually been reading these on Kindle. I have listened to a sample of the audiobook and it does sound pretty good. I know that it kind of brings it to life in a little bit more of a gamified style with the way that the narrator reads out like the announcements and things. But I'm quite enjoying physically reading it. I think when you find something like this where it's just so addictive to physically sit and read, I'm quite enjoying that feeling because I don't feel that as much as I used to. I'm just quite enjoying having that feeling when I'm physically reading something, so I'm quite enjoying that side of it. It's so good. It's so good. And is there 6 or 7 books out at the moment? I don't know how big the series is going to be, but it's nice knowing that there's more to expand out into as we go through each layer of the dungeon and these characters level up more and we get introduced to other characters. And it's so clever. It's got so many different elements of RPG games into it. It's again one that really, there's clearly so much research that's gone into it and so much passion for those kind of games as well into the plot, and it's just such a fun way to do a fantasy. It's brilliant. I love it so much, and I can't wait to read book 3. Now I'm talking about it as well. I'm like, okay, I need to start book 3 immediately. It's been like 3 weeks since I've read a Dungeon Crawler Carl book, and I'm having withdrawal symptoms. The next book is one that I have seen countless times on social media over the last few weeks, and that is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is Haymitch's prequel story. It is the 50th Hunger Games, the second quarter quell. You've probably seen people's reactions to this online. I actually feel a little bit mugged off because I did not cry at the end of this book. I read this a week later than a lot of people were because I was away when it came out, so it was a week on till I could actually start it. So that meant I was seeing a lot of people's reactions, a lot of tears, a lot of emotional reactions, which kind of, I think it swayed me away from having that emotional reaction because I knew that something was going to make me feel like that. And I mean, you kind of know that with these books anyway. Like, they are tragic books. This is books about children fighting to the death in this horrible world that is just not right. And you know it's going to be sad. You know this. I obviously didn't know exactly what was going to make me want to cry within this, and I can see what would have brought me to tears, and I think maybe if I'd have read it in the first few days of its release and saw less of those reactions online, maybe I would have. I don't know. I was debating whether I talk about the fact that it didn't make me cry in this because I don't want to affect someone else's experience by saying that I expected to cry in it. I don't know. It's a book that you expect to be sad, and it was very sad, and like it was incredibly emotional, and it's seeing Haymitch's story. I would love to know if Woody Harrelson knew this as a backstory to Haymitch. I don't know. I don't know if this was already in the mind of Suzanne Collins when the Hunger Games films were coming out, because there's certain things I've seen online that have his reaction to moments and stuff that fit so well with the things that have happened to him in this book and why he would react in those specific ways. It's just very clever the way that you can see things from the film that match up so well with this as well. I love it when you get that integration, whether or not it's just a happy coincidence or whether Suzanne Collins did tell Woody Harrelson things that were going to be coming up for the future of his character, whether or not that was like in the immediate future or years and years away, whether or not this was an idea at that point, I don't know. But it's really cool seeing that kind of stuff online, getting more context as to who Haymitch is and who he becomes in the original trilogy was really interesting and really sad and harrowing to see his experience, and seeing the brutality of these games again afresh in this book. The Hunger Games books are such interesting books as a whole anyway. The idea of the games, the idea of how the capital works and how the society works and how awful it is, how each district works and has different relationships with the capital as well, and all of that is really interesting. And then the games itself, every games that Suzanne Collins writes in these books is totally different from the last, and the brutality is totally different from the last, but they all link this complete injustice that is associated with these games and is felt by so many of the districts and the people taking part in them. This book gave everything I wanted from a Hunger Games prequel. I thought it was fantastic. The final book for this video is one I haven't actually finished yet, so I'm taking a little bit of a punt putting it in here, but I think this is going to be a 5-star read. This is Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley. This is so good. I am in the middle of this at the moment and I don't want it to end. I'm doing a reading vlog for this, so there will be a vlog coming soon that will be spoiler free. This is set in the early 2000s and is following two characters who meet at college who very much have a will they won't they element about them. I've seen this compared to One Day, and I think that that's why the kind of will they won't they, are they right for each other, are they actually not right for each other, that element running through it. But these characters also collaborate with each other on music creation. Joe is a singer and songwriter and Percy is helping him write these songs and also critiquing and things and just kind of collaborating with him on that creation of the music. So it's also about that side of things, massively about the music. Every chapter in this book is named after a different song. I'm taking so long to read this because I keep stopping to listen to all the songs that it's talking about. It's so good. It's anything that makes me want to listen to more music is just perfect, and anything that makes me feel that passion. I've said in the vlog that I'm filming that I really enjoy it when books have a central passion within the arts to them. I love that. I think you can just so clearly see it in the characters and probably from the author as well, that passion for music and the excitement and the way that they listen to music in a different way and so intently, and I just love that so much. I love the setting of it, I love the writing style. It feels a little bit Coco Malors-esque. I've also seen it compared to Daisy Jones and the Six, which I'd say is also a good comparison in terms of the vibe, not necessarily the writing style as such, more Coco Malors in writing style, vibe of Daisy Jones and the Six, and then a little bit One Day-esque as well with like the relationship side of things. I love it so much. Obviously I can't speak for how I'm going to feel at the end, but so far I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 5 out of 5-star read. It's so interesting the way that it observes people as well, and the delicate way that it talks about different characters in this and different experiences that those characters have had and how they will live their lives so differently and authentically to them. And I find that really interesting as well. So I love this so much. I've seen a lot of hype for this at the moment. The hype is well deserved. There we go. That is the top books that I have read in 2025 so far for the first quarter of the year. I am so excited for the rest of this year. It's already been, as I said, such a good year, and I have read some really great books. So I am looking forward to seeing what else I read as the year continues, and just generally what else I get up to this year, because it's been a good one so far. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Thank you so much, LingoDa, for sponsoring this video. As I said, you can find out all the details about LingoDa linked down below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.